Hello, this is Chemistry, the Central Science, 11th edition. We're in Chapter 2 on atoms, molecules, and ions, and this is the end of the chapter, questions number 63. Give the names and charges of the cation and the anion in each of the following compounds. Okay, so I see calcium and oxygen. So when you have just a single nonmetal that's joined, we're going to change oxygen to oxide. And it is in group 6, okay, group 6, which means it's 2 away from 8. So if it wants to be like the noble gases, it needs to steal 2 electrons. So the oxygen here is going to be -2. Okay, so the calcium is in group 2, so it is going to be +2. So the calcium is +2. The oxygen is -2. All right. Sulfate, SO4, is a polyatomic ion. And I memorized those. You can figure them out based upon oxygen. You know that oxygen is -2, but you'd still have to know the charge. I think that's just a memory work. SO2 is -2. Sodium is in group 1, so it is +1. So the positives are easy. So anything in this column is going to be +1. Anything in this column is going to be +2. Anything in group 3A is +3. Anything in this column would be 4, +4 or -4. It usually doesn't play that game. And then it goes backwards. This is -3. This is -2. This is -1. Okay? All right, so again to review, 1, 2, 3, and then this is 4 or -4, -3, -2, -1. Okay, so this Na2 SO4 means there's 2 positive ones to balance with that -2. So even if you didn't know this one, if you did know that sodium was in group 1 and it was +1 and there's 2 of them, you could guess that this was -2 because these are always going to be neutral. All right. You can do the same thing with this perchlorate. Let's look at the perchlorate. This is going to be potassium. It's in group 1, so it's +1. The perchlorate has to match +1, but balance it. So all of this has to be -1. ClO4, -1. Okay. This D is hard to guess because you can have multiple. You've got iron, which is here. Anything here under the stairs, anything in the transition metals and under the stairs, can have multiple oxidation numbers. You can have +1, positive whatever, several, +2, +3. You can have iron 2, iron 3, etc. So it's hard to tell what it is, but if you knew that nitrate, NO3, was -1, okay, so this is -1, and there's 2 -1s. There's 2 nitrates. Since there's 2 nitrates here, there's 2 of these -1s. That means that the iron has to be +2. So this is iron 2. And the last is chromate. Chromate's going to be exactly the same. So chromium is one of these that have multiples. So it's hard to tell. They're not in these columns that are easy to guess. This is several different possibilities. That means I go based on the other one. Well, I've got an OH. That's a polyatomic ion. I have to know that this is -1. And so now that it's -1, there's 3 -1s. So the chromium has to be what? +3. So this is one that I would say would be very difficult unless you have started to pick up on your polyatomic ions. The more you work on polyatomic ions, the more you remember them, the more readily that you can put these together quickly in your head. Okay, thanks.